for Akwaba Beam na yenti ejumai infrio tew. So this one now Hinowa and so the Yakowika on Alan's resignation. Many have resigned in their hearts and are waiting to walk away at the ballot box. Ura Boache Eja Consodia or the Abetuno. And the TT and Yan so say Alan Quaneco. Na baby Honma when I come abono. That is almost I resign. Almost change about to okay. Sense me a semi who here Becca home asem. I think so 520 alleged minors registered in EC's limited voter exercise. But anyway, these are unconfirmed reports, you know. Be on one shut down fine yourself. But told ya say registration and their cost, and I'll not limit it even to the Ashanti region. You know, there were pockets of areas, especially in the strongholds of some political parties, young minors in the NPC registration power. Obekaya Uraba Miakuraba Bonting, Ababeka said, Yen Shell Kwanya, Yen register, Yen Kwada, Wuni, Fisher, Dungoche, Sene Yemra, Etre, say Sudi, Fisher, Dungoche, and you know, it's a cause for warrior. It just a car asem. Na ene Ira or say Kwame Griffiths, Abekayan Sa Ujrem. I'm an NDC Amanyuku, and now on a National Identification Authority in our penning, and Tino Mira Ewahanum Sanso, Anna Chairman one, so a chairman Kwaju Ajiman Watting, and also na New Job enough, you know, so that Nabam said Titreni, Dinko Mopa, Emma MPP in Kankro. You heard him say that now for Usu, a PPP, also one chairman, Babekayansa, na Yedin Common. Na yankai I say yes streaming Facebook my CTV GH and YouTube to be strong would do YouTube home aya no copy link and now share abai and across all the other platforms obetimi Edward Winchire abai mpanyufo atena CD na che say akwaba nsem a ana the best someone's yema mo akwaba yeah mira ejo so why if I don't pay na launching like I say so, Africa in a wheelchair.
Maybe I make a especially Kwame Nkrumah baby.
Yeah.
Where you know, in a few of the stations I mentioned.
That's it. Africa in a wheelchair, yeah. Such chairman means to be a question. But I have one who say opening the. So, say Africa in a wheelchair. The access media, I say the one you want hope. Independent candidate, yeah, but Alan Kramachana Bako. There be. We say independent, your child be channel. No, they say no. They said the engine, which is all Munankai. And I'm making say, said, oh, what's some that may come out? They all press a comment. And I said, what makes you all so he said to hope in your money. And I because they said, I'm a don't to my back. Because said I had tight to because I said, I found 70 people or the actual speech is saying, and he said, well, he said to hope. Yeah, you know, who said, yeah, for me, youth movement for change. And that no maybe a question. The catch and say, yeah, I think youth movement for change. And also the new movement for change. And youth to near free so. And your concept be you kind of say you hear political parties to give us solutions to our problems. We need determined individuals. I think say no see in the fulcrum or pushy. And the last thing was that you hope the youth. You know the problem. You know the problem with the youth. No. Ye mebunu nibi ye free mukra ebi ye free ma ye free munche if I use mebunu yokra de wadwene mu if say ye free mukra na your party constituency says after 40 years so let me use some benchmarks. But the problem because where the rare education needs to give to the youth say what do you stand for? What do you stand for? As an individual, look at how you get up in the morning. And based upon that trace, it gives you some sense of agency. Now, we see watch your book, African Trace. Africa in the Wheelchair. Africa in the Wheelchair. For whatever it motivates you to do that. And the youth, they don't know what they stand for or what they want. It was at the end of the day, so when you photograph, so not when you better miswa. Where I will be able to achieve your dream and your hope. Go to our sister country over here, Ivory Coast. They be a cultural. Me say, I lived there for some time.
The man to me the answer man to me French. But the point is that every youth, baby or free baby, before be agitating or agitating with a certain reason, say listen, and then insecticide wide and a pesticide wide because me no, me papa me mama no, they no more air farming. What you say?
Okay.
Until you say or agitating, and then say towards the national agenda. And based upon that, the national agenda is that obia obekwa so could join the governance. Can then come no reference to it. Kind of so catch them say or no or yeah bets because Ivory Coast constitution says obia join the governance. You're supposed to have minimum of 100-acre farm.
Wow.
What you say? 2. So but on no occasion say okay, me bets. You can say by criteria so you 1,000 bets. It is you for or what dream to becoming a president, to becoming MP, to becoming this no. The first point of call say no mind the ato. Me farming 100 a day na media cashew, media way. Mean you cast your mind back. Ivory Coast war, see me a war. Me boy. What is some complaining say one shortage food. They were even exporting their food through here. Cashew, coffee. They have about 3 ports in Ivory Coast. Oberkoff, they say Jubilee House. I won't go who pick it is option for Jubilee House. Jubilee House. No. In the back of Jubilee House, no be a cabbage. A graduate student. So you should able to
be at the enabling environment.
No, the environment is about what? Are they better than us?
No, sir, government must
create
that.
Master, you see, that is the problem.
But Chairman, Bank of Ghana policy rate 30%.
Master.
And you know, says me bear farming, 30%. They no cry Bank of Ghana.
That will continue.
How will I get?
No. Continue agitating from that point of view. That is our problem.
But that's the reality.
What is the reality? How do we get there?
Apart from Ghana.
Huh? Even when the policy rate is about 100%. Huh? Oh, my make a massive man can be born. Me say,
whatever
it is, that is the national importance. And you'll be now no co-independent. Or no independent, no. I said, one I'm not afraid to talk about it. But the most important is what you raise. You are talking about the youth.
It makes sense.
The youth needs to have something to grow upon it. That is the life. Or mine. Abra born in your life in your babu so it is so many hope, no many aspiration. Now the obeka when you no need direction or they qua. Now o mind near chichiri say.
Okay.
They can hold the policy rate. Focus on you loan here the better. Do you understand the essence of loan? No, wait. No. The interest of interest rate now can. They may make catch on say. Bank biano. I have worked in the biggest bank in the world. When I saw it as a bank in Sikana Nyanidia. Individual no dey sika to no dey ball bisia no I don't know or no be or dey ball bisia enti ni dream ni hope say sika no betumi atua na wo we dey na wo gina so dey ball bisia o go ball bisia dey akotoko obi na o go ball bisia akodi there has to be something na wo ni bi no go ball bisia dey ayede.
Okay, Chairman,
I think the point that has to also be made and yes say here people don't have ideas as to how they can do something for themselves and by so doing within the macro, more or less push a positive national agenda. No. Now, like you said, the enabling environment. When you say you nim obabusi unim do rebeye. Name himself obabusi see inflation at 40%. When you say calculation of interest rate, we have the risk-free rate of return. The government benchmark rate is 1. Then you build on it your inflation because you can at the end of the year, it means that the value would have depreciated by a certain amount based on inflation. And so now the risk that the person, which is native to the individual who is borrowing. At what rate are you when you have only 2 components of interest rate, which is the benchmark rate, which is 30%, and the inflation is also 40.1%. Then at what rate are you going to give to an individual who wants to engage in some business activity? And a business in a war yen also no. Sikasen obenya. Obenya oba betria cost of the capital he is raising almost double. Let us agree.
That is not the startup of life. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Is not advisable.
Thank you.
No, it's not only. It's not first-time workers who we are referring to here.
No, I'm just complimenting you. You kind of say loan the budget, but if you now start a business, you don't. It's not advisable.
Because it is not. It is not only that. It is not only that. There are people who are engaged in business activity who would want to expand by adding maybe just about 20 people. You see, if we have that mindset to say, sabi abaya juma and a formal employment is a problem, because me maha nipa 10, wo ebia wo side business bi wo nipa 5, all together no, the magnitude of the cumulative effect of that individual small in US, the Republicans have a very funny so they don't tax the friends, they give tax base to the wealthy, and the reason is that they are the people who are investing. They give them those bricks to make sure that they pump the money back into the economy. And the rate is not different from what an individual will get and what those small businesses will get. The rate is bad. And let me also say, I think that what we need as a nation is to have a proper, and I like what my brother said, say, Cote d'Ivoire, say, a year before you venture into politics.
So we have some acres of farm.
Also, we have some acres of farm.
I was saying, how many?
100 acres.
100 acres.
Also, we have some acres of farm.
Plots. I have proposed this in one of your sister stations since last year.
Wow.
So, 275 MPs.
Let me make my point. You see, it's a very...
That is an interesting topic.
It's a very laudable...
Look,
our problem as African countries, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, we are looking at the models of Western democracy and trying to, imitate the things that they do. These people developed based on looting of friends, some of us. Now, if we will cast our minds to Asia, the Singapores and what have you, and look at how they actually made it, because their laws are different from the West, their norms are different from the West. They sat down and said, okay, we need to get ourselves off too much imports. So they categorize the things that they import. And I'm saying these things are critical. We can't do this within the next 10 years. But toothpaste, we can do without toothpaste. Until from now go in, we are not going to allow these things. And that's how they buy. The tax are so there was a national development agenda that everybody was condemned to follow.
What we'll do is that I'm sure next week you come.
Okay.
Now, sometimes we must follow on near poor mind.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's a Greek. And using the Cote d'Ivoire example, should be the underpinning upon which I made this.
Right.
But and then you share a year Alan in resignation. Na Rabu Acheja concern some waka actually say the Renani in Ewonsemo. Now, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
We fear something. Say we be to make cabin very well. See Alan said Bamiani Aje. Oh yeah. So one of the greatest contenders in the Alan Niken. Now back where free say it gives you an upper hand kakra.
You come I mean chair na me mouth team fancy. Any
traders.
Ubuka watchro.
That's it.
Me gili say emebu nso be fa ba free mu. Na Ghana so fa ba free mu.
Amen.
Our contribution to the nation is paramount to the society. Until why are there?
That's a chairman.
We don't need to be started. Say, Sebi, if you need be a boy, we need be internal. Ye man of what it deserves. Until we didn't say the neighbor. Me, I can kind be not in deal with me. It's a topic here. The other two. Say now, Ghana. Eya ba idea until say right graphics na mu be bu na be another topic no eno ahwa se Yes, no, to so or so, or di chemi. National, near the title account.
National Education Authority boss.
Ni na mo bu na fe ya change topic no. Today my next week my name ran here say, we say we can allow say move from biwa. Yes, it's regrettable. For say Sebi abusia ana ekua onu nua nyina wo mu na emri bi beso na obeka say ontumi no muntu anamon bi. But you see, it is more like aware. Say ye nyina ye agree in a certain covenant. Edu baby na yente ye ho ase a we can depart and ameboa.
Okay.
Even the aware nankasa kra ye use the word love. We divorce because of misunderstanding. And I'm a boy. Until at any point in time, say divorce because it takes two to marry. Until you divorce, it is better for us to be more decorum. Say yanka say you better to our whatever transpire within the years that we have been together. You better to our say ewa bonting. And I think you better ewa bonting. But so kind of one can year because it takes two to marry, you know. The other side is who will decide and say on a super candidate. And I'm a boy. Intino media. Media penny say ene Ghana. Bia Ghana brabo kono. Ujidi say onunko any nipa or in the integrity and the ideas to transform the economy in the Ghana and ameboa na ebia baabi ogina ne ko no ogina nimu no ebia no nya akwanya emfanye nte no kwa kotiniku no de akoje Ghana fa ahodie amaye mini ni problem bia isran kose saa ne ye no to da bia eko no edu baabi a saa ne beba aware saa ne beba ye ma saa ne beba ntino me I'm not going to say anything against his departure. But I wish him well. Na ye nyina no ye ko ye nim no. Ye so ebeboa ma ye ya kakuo no muso no. Ye hu se de betu ya namo afa. Se ya konwa ba ko na na ado teso na ye nyina ye ko pre e no no so be pre bidia. Now I have to say the oral graphics to na me so mete ha. It's to share the ideas, to tell the Ghanaians who has the better idea to manage the resources for us. So it's about the priorities. I just say Ubia ni honoma adwini. It's about the priorities. So we will see how Ghanaians will assess all of us.
But
and then to say, are we going to give him the opportunity to rule?
Yeah. So it will be a better discussion. But send a momo receive ne kono timba mia na assess the chances of MPP mami abra such a giant every month. Oh, the domoko.
No, but sorry, na so okra so the dombeko. Okra form political party. Say enemy can say okra and I'm so form political party. So I mean and I'm so okra.
Yeah.
O the dombeko.
Yeah.
What you say? It could be say ABN the youth movement decide say and then you said they say that yeah, and you
that's right.
So Obia Anya so remember. Our bushia, oh, Nianum ma on a bushia on a number 4 honey idea. So that is how the politics is all about. Anything I make out to say is regrettable. But when he decided to do that, who can change his mind? But when to me as a son agent, so it left with him. It is okay me say, how do you take it? I mean, Sabi, when there's a marriage and there's love, you depart here, you see a time when you.
But you think there's a appreciating more chances of winning?
Me, I can say emphatically, say, Alain's departure will unite the MPP strongly. For us to work hard, for us to keep our eye on the ball, to make sure, say, at the end of the day, no, I said it yesterday. Me say, MPP,
a big statement.
MPP party, should work from the perspective of opposition post. we will not work as we are in government. For 2024 elections, you to say the opposition to me. Based upon the factors abeto say what I say until now say ye kan
but when you can
wadwen a ekire wo ne say enipa na wate no ho no what is in intention it is intention to make sure say me bedi me pese me di ko ranim manya sa tumi na ene emo bia
no I see you have been
no mami come say me say I be unfair to him.
Yes.
Not that he hasn't been unfair to the party.
I say no.
Okay, yes, you know, nothing like that. So the American say. How
has it been unfair to you? Only what say you skew the elections towards one candidate victory. Only what say MPP no they see an uncrophobia jabaso. Omaya busu, omaya parachis. Also omaya waka.
Very well.
I will say
no. Sir, if you want us to interrogate those
things, but we have to. We are discussing it.
So I can't jump completely to that. I'm building my case. So me person nipa ye party for ne tias ye say. Enya parachis ne nipa ne ye. Enya unfair bi aya to him. Okay? It is an agenda for him to say me leader, my leader, my nyina. So that is what the party must come together. That is what the party must understand. Say, why you ready? Say, Obasanya Agumugarim. So how do you safeguard it?
He wish you well.
Oh, Master, now you are wishing well. Now, who be okay? Cafe na be developed because I'm so Obasanya Agumugarim. We say so the wishing well. So Obia Parachis, analyze the word very well. So be catch will be say, an official is not better than anybody. Ye nyina na abe join ku no o de also pese odi kan say o catch will be so be a parachisa. That means he's blindly devoted following somebody official. And I'm a maybe I go and check your dictionary. I may be wrong.
Godly love.
Blindly. Just say, what the apart from what we do a chair over near Bienu.
We call them stooges. I said,
say, apart from what we do a chair moment near Bienu. Woman do a chin on the other side in our nearbo. So go back to the history. Say, Ora Lancha Martin. Say, or no, bet me a catch show and they say. He has benefited from the MPP than any other candidate that I can tell you for the fact.
Because Young Professional Forum was as chairman on MPP's kappa from 1992.
That is probably lies. I'm telling you for the fact. Okay, tell me say, can't say contribute choose your worst word. That is what I'm trying to say. If you don't want me to answer those things that will fit your questions we'll see. So catch is or contribute to before even the young executive forum plan. Onye the first chairman.
Also no chairman.
Me say Onye the first chairman. The first chairman was Dr. Heyman. Okay, and what are the contributions? Okay. Also contributions also be contribute to the national party headquarters. And yes, I know. That is the only thing.
One of them. And I'm saying a party in this ceremony there. And the more democratic come a young group no ekas on contest in 96.
The BBC will say, "Ye now group here rantie." The point is that or no, Aura Lanchama. To wait to catch me say, "We brechen dan Bochi." Obet to catch me say, "We brechen Dr. Preku." Obet to catch me say, "We brechen Professor Dubois." The party headquarters, I can tell you for the fact, it was only, I can say the one solely handling the party headquarters was Honorable Hackman Owusu-Agyeman. And now free prison by oh, Master, let's have proper conversation. Alan is better than all of the people that I mentioned their name. Do you know who formed our youth wing and a part of our constitution? Damboche, is it better than him? At the time of Damboche in Museven, not to United Nations. So Odi Okoba, now they also discover. Okoba Youth Forum. So let's discuss the thing passionately.
I think how you are speaking out of emotions because you are not being fair to me. You are not being fair to me because the way you are throwing your questions. See, me politicians no me be any credibility.
Oh, no be any credibility.
And no be any. We are high class politicians. I'm not patronizing you.
No.
Me can't crash us.
No.
But I'm not sure.
Oh,
as why MPP assume you know that we have a front, you know.
Afranto cried only life. Afranto.
Only life.
Afranto. Go and see the lifespan of Afranto. It you've now when you have so kwakodi echire no. We na kwakodi echire. And go for ego crank. My point that I'm trying to tell you say, let's have the conversation before I finish my submission.
Okay.
You see, the point is that the point that I'm trying to tell you say, I will never say Sabi. So I use the word regrettable. Okay, so my point is clear. So no catch says a party in year or no mom and only party in year. Because Alan is the biggest beneficiary of the MPP. Since this current dispensation, MPP Edibedia Kunya Yebe 2024. Now you be kaka 16 years and son you be called the next leg, you know. Onunko we did almost 14 years as a minister. Wabre Chen, and I mention the people, I may say, and Krofua almost suffer within the MPP. At that time, no, they're not in the United Nations because we are that about your war. We are giving you the path. Make it as if the MPP no out here. Make it as if no now
just making as if
no foundation member. Oh, I didn't see. You better learn. You have write a book. There's a foundation member and there's a funding member. The difference is that the foundation members are the members who use their property as a surety to guarantee the party. Do you want me to explain to you?
Of course, we want to learn.
32 Let me explain to you. At the time when political parties was formed, Rawlings rule, now no graphics were not abridged to know him. The rules are that the political party, who register political party as a liability company.
Okay.
So it comes in with your surety. Say they are liability company in Boka. You bet me a ton of property there. The people who use their housing, their land titles to register for the MPP, what we call them the foundation members. The funding members are the members who bring their money to as a seed money. To support the party.
And what difference is it? Obi the property, but it's not.
Go and ask. Go assets. They're all assets.
Yes. Of course, money is an asset. It's an asset.
Oh, thank you.
It's liquid.
I now kita one CD. Now the back CFA koye business. Now through that, the foundation member no they need their guarantee. So okobo kani ekoton fear. Uga just any naipe. Are you equal to
your foundation member so what different?
2 minutes now.
And your foundation member so $100,000. $100,000 bet amount of phone we grab 10.
No. If you mismanage the resources, when fear na can go to other than no company fear me say we no gan say me first scam.
Okay.
So the point the mama from anusi because on no trust
na waka sache nto no so beka sache.
Now as I'm going man flow because you let everybody feel like I was talking out of pain. But why
was this regrettable?
No. What? Now okay, we are the conclusion.
Anyways.
Is it not the conclusion? So my point that I'm trying to tell you is so we catch us or see yes no and I say no. That is what I'm telling you for the fact say rather no he has benefited because you're 14 years as a minister.
That's undoubted.
And what else again? Or no bet me catch me say compare with the others. Is it the same? I've cited
who has 2 or 3 people
more than Orabamia. On what basis? Because
vice president. I was a president.
What is wrong with that? Isn't an organization? Organization is static.
So benefits.
And that's what organization. Your dream is to get at the same be free be join it should be joining now catch and say wo and then because we start into wo the chinchira so depressing
okay dream was about be leader
so catch on certain about be depressing
okay
so that is not the case
that's fine chairman me kwa unia ho
na unia so em say asem no wo ho
chairman wa here time na kasa che
oh me na me kasa na mama man come say no I didn't because we said why at the side la person be say gari go MPP you but mo boa si na si china
okay em say once a minute kasa man ka bi
I just want to. I
just want to. Simple. The woman say, MPP says in a yard, I cover wage in Aban. Gumu, I would want me answer. Now, two of them are related to Dr. Alan Martin. But the generality of MPP force, if you listen to them, because one of the things I keep saying is that Kromo Hanos lose election. As the chairman said, Siabeka, your way now can watch it. It's well, Muno, you don't get the benefit of sad warnings now. And Kabab why you are reform. You don't get. Now, two things. The way Akufo-Addo's administration has gone. The perception out there is say abuankrophobia omuye closely related to Akufo-Addo's political life and family. That is one point. I mean, people even refer to Gabi as the de facto prime minister. You are aware of this? Good. That's one aspect. And that is where the angle that people like Boacho Ejako will be coming from. Say, ni nkrofon kra resign wo mutrimu dada omakuma mu dada omo twan abato no no oma a friend say I practicalize no so that is where somebody like that is coming from. That's point number one. Point number two, okay, 2008 during MPP primary, was it 2007 or 2008 during their prime, I think it was 2007. After Alan stepped down for
Legon.
Yes, after Alan stepped down for Akufo-Addo, he made a public statement, which in my view was unconstitutional.
Okay.
Say Alan is the next to what? Follow. In my view, that's unconstitutional because the MPP constitution and Ghana's constitution, what have you, does not allow you, the sitting president. Very good. He made a public statement. TV. Say the next person to follow Alan Chairman.
And that is his opinion and your curtain story.
That's why I'm saying Senam can't say your own constitution. So the expectation is that Obi at that point, you know, watching one myself, what the benim kind to the call, Sabaya and Chicha party him into who call Nakotua Frank Adama party. No. And I was also know out of your appreciation for make it public statement, which in my view was a promise. Say onuna obefulunu so no. The minimum you can do is to make sure say the ground rules are neutral. But say no, you will follow me no, and you see but it is on somebody else. And that is where Alan is coming from. And let's not kid ourselves. Everybody in this country, so we MPP, we NDCU, you know, say, the preferred candidate of His Excellency the President is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Sir President, so to Numutu, Sentisa.
Oh, let me tell you something. If you go, I go on set with a lot of people. Obia started, and let me say this, it happens in most of the political parties where you can see some slight biasness towards an individual.
Yeah.
So, but not in this magnitude. The level they have taken it, unprecedented.
But what if love for the man? And number 2, Nana Akufo-Addo MPP machinery. Is that Nana Akufo-Addo making a promise? Say me new one man Alba.
Let me tell you something.
Who like and second and that's a part no ejinaso.
But he has an authority to appoint and disappoint Mbada. He has authority to make
one a flag bearer.
No, I understand that. So we are not saying say Sabe or no na why are he out of he what you have is what you use. When they say abuse incumbency, it doesn't mean say the incumbency has the right to create to form the next government. It's the people who will vote. But there be a car be a siho and kaya bank car no sa car no be kwa ko yedwuma ma incumbent no. So on the no. That is what we say it is an abuse of incumbency. Now if you are able to say or insinuate say regional basis into region bia no a obekwa akoto akọ particular direction no your friend saying you behu de be ya I mean indirectly no you are more or less telling the people say your job is on the line if you behave in a certain way. You see, I am not the one saying this. Oh, and I'm an American way. Oh, MPP for na neka. If you watched Dr. Chematin on UTV, when he was asked a specific question, say, Kufuor, you were Kufuor's favorite. Now, what is wrong with say Akufo-Addo? Bawumia Akufo-Addo favorite because you were Kufuor's favorite. Was it but Kufuor did not behave in this way. Kufuor Akufo-Addo and come here president. That's what he said. That was and I'm quoting him from what he said that if Kufuor had behaved the way Akufo-Addo is behaving, I would have been the president of this country. Because they said Akufo it's not these are not my words.
But I wish you can ask him questions. Where Janu no flow? Because Akufo-Addo here there. No.
But I know Umia bisa question.
And listen on.
Mr. Akufo-Addo here they answer that.
And I make a choice say these are not my words. These are it's not only Chematin. But Is it Dr. or Mr. Boache Jaku? I'm not sure. I don't want to disrespect him. Number 2, former chief of staff and minister for presidential affairs. Mr. Kojo Mpieni. He was on air. Say Akufo-Addo na create problem we will.
Send the but another opinions.
But these are not opinions from these are opinions from the Bampacho.
The same level.
Oh, yeah. So I chief of staff.
Oh, no. That's fine. Okay.
Why chief of staff? That's what I'm trying to refer to. I know the contributions because Kojo Mpieni is.
No, he's not talking about contributions.
Let me what people don't know. They say. If you come to Ashanti region, UP Duano, Duano, Aguna, Victoria Menana, your friend Kwablampi.
Oh, you are going direction that is not the question that I asked you.
Has played. Kojo Mpieni is not part of the family, but he's married into the family.
No.
So did you pay? I know the role he has played in
doubt. Contribution in the party.
No, so I have already answered his question.
But I think it's important.
Yes.
Papa no say Sanka Ura Kufuor. Nana Akufo-Addo president.
Exactly.
Nana Akufo-Addo.
Well, it's like not just
number 1 Akufo-Addo, number 2 Akufo-Addo.
Let me state what Kennedy Rapon is saying is that the rules are tilted towards Bawumia. What Kojo Mpieni, former chief of staff, is saying the rules are tilted towards Bawumia. Such as say people are being warned. Say we are better with from them. We are appointment better from them. Mebo, UTB. Very good.
Give me one delegate. No. But we want to make because no your candidate. Give me one. No. Give me one delegate.
It's not the delegates we have. The delegates have not voted yet. They haven't voted yet. It is the super delegates we are talking about. These are the party in Penny 4 any appointees. This we all know that. And you know, when you say they are more or less the core of the administration of the party and the government. So and they are easily influenced. I want to believe, say, Senka delegates in the Toa Banwa, and the results will not be the same. Because a lot of the delegates, based on the fact, say a lot of them are not. I'm not saying say Baumia may not have led, but the gaps will not have been this wide. I'm not saying Baumia may not have led. He may have led, but the gap, because these are people who the presidency more or less has some control over. They have a reason to toe their line.
Answered my question on what Akufo-Addo has done.
That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the leading figures are saying that people are being whipped in line to vote in a particular direction.
Mention the Akufo-Addo's name.
Alan Cash can say UTB. He said that
we should not confuse ourselves with system and individuals. Ahead of the elections, the system created a vetting committee, right? And also created electoral college.
Yes.
And will see to the smooth run of the elections.
Yes.
And Akufo-Addo is leader of government.
Yes.
Not the leader of party.
I don't know their constitution.
No,
in our,
he's not the leader.
NDC, the leader. He's the leader. But here's the deal. Then you are making it look as if say this is allegation. This allegation coming from me. It's not coming from me. I have given you. I've sat here and given you 4 leading figures. People are kukudam. MPP, Kodon Pianim, Bacha Jakun, a friend say
a reporter speech.
Of course, and they were in the news this week.
Okay.
Kodon Pianim, Bacha Jakun cried was saying, I resigned that I want my and a showdown man, Ken. Alan Chamatin. Alan Chamatin, when he was said, say, what is wrong with Akufo-Addo favoring Bawumia because he was favored by Akufo? I said, no, Akufo did not behave this way. Those are his words. Say, Akufo-Addo, no. Akufo behave to say the way Akufo-Addo, I chinchina was or do was so be mu, did not konya. So these are his words.
There's a journalist or interview, one probe fed.
Oh, man.
No.
These are not my words. So on the material, ball no say ball na airborne referee, and you are here in this country. You even put the presidency aside. NPP, we all know say political party biya national executives, regional executives, constituency executives, all the way from council of elders to polling station executives, polling station executives. They are not supposed to openly support one side. Is that what you see now? No, it doesn't happen. It's at this level. No crime who be that. So what you on the ticket of?
Your own members of parliament were marching to you. Jesus Christ.
We are no account here.
Oh, you are trying to be a movement. Fine.
Probably have more than 10 times. More than 10 times. And he goes on the ticket of the MPP. But he has always spoken. And now, I mean, Dr. Bawumia.
Message about make sure PPP communications director. So maybe some question too.
And you know, let us be very clear on this matter. Say the MPP, whether it's a system, the president, or what have you, they have not played an even field for all the candidates. That's a fact. That's a fact. And that is where he is coming from. So and he made emphatic statements. Say, I know you're one factor. Number 2, he does not recognize the MPP he joined in 1992. Even we in NDC don't recognize the NPP that was at play in 1992. And before the Why wouldn't the Akoswa? Things that have happened that are so undemocratic. Look at the I was West Wagon and say, for the first time we went into an election and we have 8 people, as many as 8 people dying. So on the no, not Ayawaso West Wagon. I was one of the main people. So on the people who came there, the police commander in charge. The commander on the ground said he didn't know where those militias came from. So these are seriously undemocratic and dictatorial. So and we ourselves in opposition, we don't recognize the MPP that we used to deal with in 1992 and subsequently. So and then he makes those statements. He said no. He is not a friend, say. And Koyompiani makes a very interesting statement, say. The Amma Wamukon down, and I'm sending a word of caution because a strong says Wamoko opposition in 2025. And we need a strong opposition to bring policy alternatives to the fore so that we can rule well. We don't want to be like them, our attitude now. Say I landed Ghana in such an economic mess.
Alternative
so what do manifesto, you know? For the last election. You can't say now by government policy. Now by government policy. And you say, we told them, say, look, you can bite the things slowly. You can bite the things slowly. I mean, you can bite the things slowly and make sure, say, you target properly. And the IMF buttressed our points. Otherwise, it will affect learning outcomes. The word we use, it will affect learning outcomes, which is the product of education. When you take a child to school, the learning outcome is what he gets out of the school. That is what the IMF is telling you. It is a problem.
It's maybe a commentary. The chairman and members of the NPP, the chairman here, and members of the NPP are trying all they can to discredit Alan. Few years ago, nobody heard it wasn't the YEF led by Alan, wasn't the one who contributed money to buy their party office. What has changed now? Alan fever is caught up on them. Tell them to build bridges instead of this poster. As for us, we want to build our party PPP. Felix man, take communications.
Opesol building bridges. At the time the bridge has damaged, what do you do? What do you do?
Where fellas here?
No, I'm asking you a question. What do you do? And Nipano say Okoboni bra. What you say? It is up to the party to organize yourself. Whatever hole that he has created, you fill it up.
Now why don't you make steps to get him back?
Get who back? How many times the same person can resign twice?
Good point. Oh, please.
Huh? This is the second time of resignation. Master, what can we? I don't know this. You're doing this because it happens to you. Started from your own vice president. Did you get him back?
Even their chairman,
Beba. Your own vice president, you were sitting president. You slaughtered him. Did you work to get him back? Or no one could join another party? Huh? Your own former chairman, whose idealism formed the NDC. What happened? Or Sorako Junso went to be on Soranko Junso. Oh, yeah, one got in the party. Once the send Nipani executives and Gusitando and the rest. What here behave as if say a young human institution there be as some now you can free. Oh, there maybe they can free Malaysia. You allowed him. Or catch us. Or say Odin Fias or be proud of Probetuaka. So when you said me meeting Akamasam, they may consider. Or so didn't fear someone, and someone try hours at the man, and you mean school, I was not the man, so on spending off one kind of some. Or Kaya, or Yashi, Nina for move within the hours. So, or Kaya, they can't say, MSC Boacheja, Coco Jumpian, they fear some. I wish to go back at him say, Mira host, as some can
topic for discussion.
Me person can be because they be fearsome. But they are making references to a human institution. And I'm so who fear It has been done more than 100 times. Obio ye symbol, mamo. Ye symbol. Ma NDC. Ni kundi ni moja. A sign. Mo party constitution. And then, already I'm with the no. Funka games.
One a year symbol, my. Huh? One a year symbol, my.
Oh, ni majai. With the Saturday, maybe I now would.
What do you mean? I was part of it. I formed part of it. The 3 clubs that formed the union. I was part of it. 92. Now this soldier was breaching. That means soldier was breaching Morgana. Now you're there. I was part of Rollins fan club. Friends of the progressive decade. And then Eagle Club. The first Eagle Club that was formed in Nigeria from America. Yeah. The friends say, the chairman is resigning from military more than 30 years ago. No, that is not the point. So you see, when you interrogate them, they are beginning to battle. Also now you're Eagle. I was here. Eagle 92. We formed the team in 1995. The current wilderness. 1995. It was on TV.
For the clarity.
In fact, June, if you go to 5th of June, I am on the front page with President Rollins. I
32 years ago. I 32 years ago. It is
don't say that.
Who named your former NDC? That time I
was part of it.
We were part of that.
Why we formed was when we said that we have to mobilize all the clubs under one umbrella. That's the reason why the umbrella was chosen.
I challenge you. Missing 32 years ago, now we're military. Go and bring your record.
Okay. Go and
bring your record.
2 years ago, me a student leader, okay,
Mr. Griffith. For the last minute, Chairman, for the last minute, alleged minors.
Very important.
I can't tell you.
You can use 5-5. Alleged minors are electoral process.
From Ashanti region, from Ashanti region. From Ashanti region. I told you, sir.
But your Okansa no help.
Makasa asked me, sir, Ukasa Yanya central registration. The disadvantages, no, I'll just mention 3. So what do I mean by that? Central registration. So we say constituency baku obian ko isi office no control in there. Now open some money di. Quite apart from the fact say nipa be bre nu nyes kan ko isi office because a free baby omo tia ni baby a isi wo no emochi e be 50 cities e be quite me 100 cities as o makọ no emochi. Another thing so a eboama saa de no krono no akronfo ne pese wiaye no ebo krono ne say marginal constituencies na difference here be 1000 no. Se on say oti isi officer e bia wo fredu krom na nipa ono eba no efre akura bi ase nti untimi hunu obia te se wo de ko electoral area level obia ni mo bia nti untimi be register wo mtimi fa nipa efre ebia different constituency no ma ba be e do ma be share register no because they know say constituency had here ye to about difference ni kakra bi to pile up for the parliamentary no so ni meche no. That is another problem that it brings. And they say on election day the best education to the voter is to tell himself ko be register and ko to aba. That's the best education. What mean about EC office after no unless they na omo say na he kwara mko to aba yi. So ni meche no because they don't know the police station you have assigned them. You are sitting in the district office and guessing where he may have to the police station closest to his house. So ni meche no. And minor registration, we talked about this minor registration say every time a betro din be Ashanti region. At the hon kwana dey be idea say yasapo betru kwanse to. I hu fi. And na beto dwai. And I no make ha. Wow, minor registration. One of the things that the EC and especially the new CI of the Electoral Commission, they have proposed even date of birth of the political parties. And no boy, am I running against the student database? Near the who's away, the school or core, no, or control said what did 16 years, but what throw has said what did 18 years, no, and no cry EC or year free. So, but they are trying to push that same agenda, and that is the crux of the whole thing. Look, minor registration. I'm glad our people sat up and challenged them. I'm very glad they challenged them, and I'm encouraging them. Say they should be very vigilant because when we born last minute, so when we born last minute, say I can few days, I feel say I try some obey yet. That is kabe ura mu atoto tonkrofo bi amansa money bi akoso We need to be very vigilant. Say no. We are not fighting for the NDC. We are fighting for Ghana. Ghana is say. Look at our economic parameters. It says inflation is 41%. The highest since the Fourth Republic. In your friends, the policy rate is 30%. The last highest was 29.5%, which was them 2 quarters ago. Say the highest 30% in the Fourth Republic. And to Ghana say, and to Kwana Yakono, me sha obi am crime. Say almost see easy office in here, make sure say uti adankwa me kura no a obe pet kwan a obe fa so obe nanti dako kwa. So obi, when you want to fight a bullier, you fight him with force. You have to go to the center and make sure you get your name on the register. That is the way you fight a bully. Somebody who is trying to stack up the laws against you because and I also encourage our agents to be very vigilant, especially these last days, because we have done it. When they say, I have a lot of experience in registration exercises in this country, and things that happen, especially in Ashanti region, is so bad. And I am glad say it has been brought to the fore. Okay.
Yes, Chairman. I'm saying Uraba me cry be money the situation.
The point that the point that I'm trying to say that me na higher na no din said they care for the people. Now who cause them? Sandema ye kan nyina, it is your desperation of power. And mama sa doing nyina si. When we started at the place that you were, sabi one manage the place, you know the effectiveness of baby and now free by near Juma now pesoye. And then to 2 years, that is what we were talking about, the Ghana card. Debbie. Who calls some? Who bet na? I play. Oh, Master Mami, come on, some now. I intentionally be said that because Monty specific is about second Ghana card. No, you can't say you find your registration now. You know, members of parliament because of your desperation of power. And until Muya Ghana, Mudisinjanoso Ghana, because you lack of vision.
Who passed the law? Have you read LI21?
Because when you were sitting here, who somehow can
LI21? 10 seconds, remember.
Thank you. What I'm trying to tell you is that
LI21, we passed it in 2012.
The policy and the management of this nation, and yet, and with desperation, you match and you intentionally seize easy. I like Roman Beto. Moses said, one guarantee system. Are you serious? And can make a colani buy Mira and call Banco Kitana Ghana card. The age was so, the BBA was so, who challenging a ye. The same Colana Namo Haumo. And Colana must see a register mine on. You don't know where the problem is coming from because
political parties the
policy change. You see, because we don't want solution. Because every time because of our selfish interest. Or be the day we have said your own search. Go to other constituencies and then say you Ghana card here. Now said don't want to me register Togo Fontino and no money abre. But it's also from my year. Number one, this should have been your first evidence to say you register mine obium because when him Akwalana who force on the 18 amaniko the 18 or no ne dachi baby o gina bia and we increasing the age, we increasing the retirement. What you say? But on tiase because when you catch and say you knew dear Ghana no can be a chan near refi it and a moya dear moyeno. For me, it is sad for us to do that to our 15 years or what? And I will take care
in Ashanti region.
What you say? Ashanti region. go to my constituency. Any support of the bar is aggravated. So unless you understand, you should know all of us.
So MPP can because
we don't want solution. Who challenge and that's what's the problem. You being as a leader, who challenge and what's the problem. Where you know the problem is, you blindly because why yache. Motive voter region, mo basi nipa from Togo near the Ghana card buy a car saying most me the Mimbasi, Cote d'Ivoire, so what you say? So na so Western region mo win nipa. I come to bra ho nyanya no twin crofo free over. But Western Kobisa I friends I can't know. On baby I am sitting in a Kokobisa. So my problem is that at the end of the year, the bia ye can't. Mati, me ni problem. Ebia ye can't. Yet your memuha. Political expediency, you are desperate. So obedia kunya. Na sabi nipa no kwa ba se mu ndo beto ma. Mama kan chen this for so mu ni mu a. Sa atiri de bia ba mo so say eyo mo say jama 20 oh respond I respond. But eyo mo age say jama kunya ni si obi a mo ba betena so no. They should check what happened in Nigeria. Huh? Everybody thinks. Me see they will shock in their skin. Omo no mo so mo court to be. They will see the life of Ghanaians who say you cannot trust. Otiaka policy rate as Mahama as a 2014 that policy rate yes.
Oh, I can Google it for you. The highest so far. The highest so far in the Fourth Republic is 30%.
When I'm 36, never
gone beyond 30. Look, if you go to Bloomberg, Bloomberg says that this is the highest since they started reporting.
Bloomberg or Ghana.
These are credible reporting agencies.
Not loans, not 41-40%.
For necessary lawyers.
Now,
that's March 31st to April 2014 18.
Look at that.
No, I said about 15 grand 14 pay.
But you are saying you made an emphatic statement.
No. Listen. It has happened to you before.
It has never.
18 that time people were dying with your little doom socket. You are not being able to manage the country. In all the crisis at the era in that cutting across the whole world. It won't say to me manager and from a year I do so now baby dear
the 1 minute now.
It is the time now said to
the highest policy rate in Ghana 30.
30 is when? It is the current one.
No. Check all the dates.
Oh, please.
The low is 12.50% in December 2006.
2006.
First time that was it.
But you see, my point.
For 2 minutes. How much? 5. Over 5 2 minutes. They prepare. Now person call now.
Oh, that's not so person respond.
2 minutes.
And for 2 minutes.
You see, the fact that we have sat here, near discussing national policy. What is important for me? Say you better Ghana for Kasa. First of all, we must talk to them. Say to me Ghana for Kasa say we have solutions to our problems. No lambasting say your dream any your hope and say I bring you now chamakojo boatin kwatinshi MPP government enya bibi na yem to me power without you having the solution. And then I wish to say Electoral Commission will be able to come out and tell the Ghanaians to say asama ye kan ya amwantie no eno enene esi. Because we can never testify akwala sabi ne maame ne papa wo no na ne maame di na chi no ba ka kire say una wo me ba maame una wo be wu se we di mfie dunu ma na se on di mfie dunu because of ignorance and a mumba take advantage based upon that in no and then the abeto ye
ignorance and poverty
what you say abeto ye no eno hunkomo ni yedi but you don't want to say it because and a comedy and an anado and but it's cutting across the global. But my point is that say almost some are ready some alternative government they must bring solutions and be fair to Ghanaians, not our deprived situation. So we the uwakonya ubedi no ensure ira fire no ho na abeka ho asem meanwhile no utimun fire brosa but give me the solution. And the solution will guide the Ghanaians to decide, they say, who deserve to say to Abama wana. And NDC is not the solution to Ghana's problem. NDC is not the solution because they don't have what it takes to rule this country. The lack of the ideas. And now you're to say, Emre so na ye nyina ye tena ha se ye di ho nkomo a na da o timekeeper why you don't for
say media na
end of better airtime
send your factory na keke
better airtime near mami come as me land here mami fam as me
chairman first no mram
o person kasa wa na sorry kwan
chairman first for 30 seconds
say ye nyina ye ne Ghana for kasa say ye petumi and yet to me, I beg say we just overload them. But to me, I best solve the problems of the country. I can tell you for the fact. And near man and nado atutunina say wo ye man with the next 4 years, 5 years. You could see the reality and the dynamism and the purposeful say because near man say papa ni say you know na ye Ghana course or Ghana tanko. Oh, now we are west.
Okay, first let me respond to the NIA. Before their registration in 2018, they said they have a registrable population of 20 million. It's 19.9 something, which is 20 million. Every year, be a NIPA 450. The registrable age, you know, and if you do that in 5 years, almost starting in 2018 now, and you add that, it means the registrable population now 22.5.
Oh, by who register? If you have that data, no, you are solution to the problem.
What? No. I will give you information. I will give you information. Let me finish with what I'm saying.
Don't blind us. Who better take over? And the idea of NIA for you handle it.
Yes, Chairman, but I'm also having a 10.
Oh, another one.
22.5 no. Say NIA. Nyamina mekon. NIA say they have issued cards to 16 point something. Yamfan is 17 million. So we all know that there are 5.5 million people who don't have NIA cards. If you read LI 2111, which was passed in 2012, when I was at NIA, you know, or see the Ghana card issued to the individual. Issued. If you haven't issued it to the individual, how do you mandate it to say, oh, from a top and say no?
Oh, you see.
You
see the
process. Let me make my point because this is very good education for.
But you are misleading us.
I'm not.
You are misleading us.
You haven't pointed any.
No, because the policy direction. How would you take it? No. I said pointing. I'm pointing because he was the chief executive.
Yeah. No. What's the guarantee system? Say Ghana card in crown someone won't even register to Aba. But now when you say that, 5.5 million people. How are they? That is the new CI. That is the one you are saying. Say your friend say. 5.5 million people. How will they register? And let me give you a very historical idea about NIA.
That's over 1 minute per time.
Yeah, I can use that. Ghana had no home. When we took over NIA, we had some issues. And the issues were that if you phone is and force administration or money, the concept was brilliant. A multifunctional card that will be used by all the services that require NIA card, which means NHI does not have to pay $4 for their card. They can use the NIA card.
Yes.
That was the concept before put in place, but it wasn't a multifunctional card. It took the steps from President Mahama. The letter was issued in 2014 by President Mani to NIA, giving policy direction. He said, we have to integrate the system and create a multifunctional card that can be used by all these, because Ghana biometric system, 11. The last one was SNIT. And a friend said, presidency no take that decision.
And when we government is a process of continuity.
Before we left office, December of 2016, we handed over. We did the factory acceptance test of the system that is currently registered.
That is not the solution.
Do you understand what that means? It means that Odi Ajumama Obina Wababe factory acceptance test. Na ya sa o sheshe se mfidie no sheshe ni nyina yokia.
Okay.
It happened in December 20. And when people like you President Baumia, Vice President Baumia stand somewhere and say 8 years they didn't do anything, then it beats my
No. Let me say this.
The system that issued the card for President Kufuor on the 15th of September 2017, NPP did not even add a pen drive to that system.
Mr. Osei Kwame Griffith, a former
Ghana for na be analyze the okay. Some of the
Chairman one Kwajo Ajiman Boateng, and so opinion kese na ohwe New Dwabre North about to impesua so the opinion say so no so beka yen san penifo bani ana omo timi ba me din komo na ofori wusu chairman Progressive People's Party and Meka, but I'm sure say it's for a good reason, otherwise he would be here with Kwame Kwachiase and the rest of the technical bench. Me didn't know Otu Darko me sorry so ayempon here ohene wa kase boa hin ana de bia opon morning show into free sabre ko se nundu baba be so de nkonya bi no so no gangan to leader e ba betena sem now the obramu sem asomye nene discussion e ba no a very very interesting and educative into Mr. Wa stay on na yeni sankomo no ne amuka nyina ko eti yen twa so kra sa no makozo haram
who 7:30 mu na ni I don't know start so now here